Welcome back, everybody. Another Saturday, another playbook review coming at you in timely fashion. We are going to be talking about the Miami Hurricanes, but we are actually not going to talk about the offensive side of the ball today. We are going to focus on defense in the 4-3 multiple playbook, specifically 6-1. Now, in Road to the College Football Playoff, not very many teams have that 4-3 multiple, but Miami is built absolutely perfectly to run this type of defense. It's one of my favorites to run. We do it in our online dynasty. The link for that is down in the description below. We ran it when we did Miami in the campus tour series. I'll put the link up here somewhere for that. And just overall, I think it's a very versatile defense that can do very well against the run and the pass, gets good pressure without having to blitz. I'm not a blitzer. I like to just rush for and let our boys up front do the work, and Miami is perfect for that. So first, shout out to Wes, Perez, Miami Hurricanes, all the guys in the Discord that are big Miami fans and be pulling for the Hurricanes Monday night. I will not be. I will be rooting for the Hoosiers, but hey, we can all still be friends at the end of the day. So for this, we are just going to hop into practice mode. We're going to get into 6-1. That's going to be the main focus. Go over the depth chart, how we're going to set everything up, because it's not as straightforward as it might seem, and all the quick adjustments we're going to need to do. There's only a couple plays we're really going to call, but there's a few changes we're going to make in them. So yeah, let's just get right on into it. We're going to hop into practice mode here with Miami. We're going to be on All-American difficulty, just a base standard difficulty, and see how you can run your best defense using the 6-1 of Miami. So first thing first, how do we make sure we get our best guys on the field in even 6-1? If we go over here and look at our substitutions, we will see we do have our right edge, Ruben Bain Jr. Perfect, exactly who we want in there. Then this spot right next to him is actually going to be our nose tackle. Then it's our next two defensive tackles on the depth chart. So in this example, Moten Sr. is actually listed as defensive tackle 2, but because he is the nose tackle, he is in this spot, and then we have our defensive tackle 1 and our defensive tackle 3. So it's using 3 defensive tackles. Of course, you can come in and just make these substitutions here, but if we try to take out Moten Sr., it's just going to be the defensive tackles. There's not much we can do in that nose tackle position. Luckily, Moten's pretty dang good. But in these other two spots, we can put essentially whoever we want as long as it's a defensive lineman. But I will actually just go into the depth chart to make these changes, and we're gonna glaze Miami for a second because I legitimately think this is one of the best teams in the entire game. If you're gonna run some Road to the College Football Playoff, I think their offense is awesome and this defense is ridiculous. It's so much fun. On the offensive side of things, and this is actually gonna bring up a gripe I have with EA, but this offense is ridiculous. Fletcher is so much fun. You got a 94 speed back you can put in if you want to, but at wide receiver, so we have Malachi Tony here, right? And it's great they finally went in and started updating the overall speeds, attributes, things like that. It took them 10 or 11 weeks or so, but eventually they got in there and started making some changes. But they've never touched the abilities on any of these guys. How is Malachi Tony a 91 overall, 92 speed without a single ability on him? Makes no sense. I don't get it. They just never adjusted the abilities when it comes to play now in Road to the College Football Playoff. If you boot up a dynasty with Tony, he's 86 overall, I think, but he's got like takeoff and he's got actual abilities, but not in Road to the College Football Playoff. I don't know why they did it like that. Anyway, let's just focus back in on the actual point of what we're doing here on the defensive side of things. So that first spot is going to be our right edge, Ruben Bain Jr., exactly where we want him, perfect. Silver quick jump, again, could update the abilities, but with inside disruptor and platinum pocket disruptor, the main reason Miami is built so well to run this defense is going to be the defensive line, starting with Bain Jr. Defensive tackle, like we said, Moten Sr. is actually going to be our nose tackle, and we are fine with that. We do like having an inside disruptor and somebody else to help break up the run, but Moten Sr., nose tackle, that's why he is second in line when you go and make those substitutions. So then who else we want on the field is going to be, we have to change Scott and Blay Jr. because Scott, you're great. Nothing against you, buddy, but with no abilities, when we have some guys like a gold quick jump, Marquise Lightfoot, so he's going to take that spot. And same thing, Blay Jr., he does have takedown, but we also have hiding down here a platinum quick jump. And your third defensive tackle in line is going to be the one on that right edge, right from the offensive point of view. So on the inside, we're going to have Lightfoot with his gold quick jump. We're going to have Moten Sr. with his inside disruptor. On the edges, we're going to have platinum quick jump, Booker Pickett, and then Ruben Bain is going to be on our other edge. So that is going to be our 4 down linemen in this 6-1 set. Yeah, buddy. we're already cooking here. And then in this formation as well, it's not going to use our sub linebackers. It is going to use our actual Sam, Mike, and Will. So we're going to make a few changes here as well, because we need to have some solid speed at the linebacker position if we really want to play this 6-1 well. It's a big reason why 6-1 isn't great for a lot of teams in road to the college football playoff. They just don't have 3 linebackers with enough speed, but of course Miami does. So on our Will linebacker is going to be Wesley here with his Silver Robber 87 speed. Then our Sam linebacker, the other guy on the edge, is going to be down here, Pruitt, another Silver Robber with 86 speed, because these guys, how I run the 6-1, are going to be in a lot of flat zones. So them having that speed to get out to the flats and Silver Robber is a great 1-2 combination for us. And then at user, we can either keep Raul here in this spot, but I think I like Mohamed Toure with his gold takedown. He's still 84 speed, but now we get a takedown ability. We do have a bronze robber if you want to sacrifice 2 speed, but he's 6'4" with robber, so it's not the worst idea to put a Darius Hayes in this spot. So that is going to be our 3 linebackers. So again, just to recap, defensive line, Ruben Bain Jr., hammer, quick jump, inside disruptor, pocket disruptor. Our other 3 defensive linemen, Marquise Lightfoot, quick jump, Moten Sr., inside disruptor, Pickett, platinum quick jump. That's our 4 down linemen. Our 3 linebackers, Cam Pruitt, robber, 86 speed. User, Toure, gold takedown, 84 speed. Will, Wesley, silver robber, 87 speed. We're already looking pretty dang good. And the secondary is fantastic too. This is Miami defense is so much fun. I'm so excited for when campus tour ends. I think first thing we're doing is running this 6-1 again, getting back in with these Miami Hurricanes. So at corner, we're actually going to take out our 96 speed Keontae Scott. Why we're going to do that? Because we have 2 corners. You're only playing 2 corners in 6-1. So that's our main focus, is our top 2. Ethan O'Connor, knockout, bouncer, house call, still 91 speed, 6'1", love that. You can go corner 1. Corner 2, guess what? We have another ball hawk, knockout, bouncer, 6 foot tall, Charles Brantley. So those are going to be our 2 outside corners here in 6-1. Safety, free safety, Keontae Scott, get back in there, 6 foot tall, 96 speed. Strong safety, how about Dylan Day, silver robber, 6'2", 92 speed. So everybody we have on this field on defense is unbelievable. This defense, this is getting your best guys on the field. We have the silver robber. Yeah, he's only 75 overall, but he's 6'2", he's 92 speed and has silver robber. Free safety, Keontae Scott, 96 speed, 6 foot tall. Our corners, great abilities on the outside here with O'Connor and Brantley. Our linebackers look great. Our defensive line looks great. Everything looks great. We are all set to rock the 6-1 defense of the Miami Hurricanes. So if we come back in here now, we'll see Bain Jr. still at right edge, our nose tackle Moten. Then we have Lightfoot. And then on the right, left side, whatever, we have our platinum quick jump Pickett, Basanth, Toure, and Pruitt at linebacker, Brantley, Scott, Day, and O'Connor. This is a star-studded, unbelievable defense just from a depth chart perspective. And now for some coach adjustments that I like to do. I will always have option read key conservative and aggressive if I remember to do it. That's a big if. I don't always, but I try to get those conservative aggressive. RPO, I like to do conservative. Now with the team that we have here, with the speed we have at safety, we can 100% do close and pinch on our safeties. I think it is the best thing to do as long as you have the safety speed to be able to do that. Midpoint, we leave that the same. Zone drops, we'll talk about it in a second when we get to some of the other adjustments we can do. So out of 6-1, a lot of times you can just come out in cover 4 and either keep match if you want to, or shade underneath to cancel it. Shade underneath or over top will cancel that match coverage. But we have cover 4, we have cover 3 buzz, which we'll talk about more in a second, and Tampa 2. The 3 main zone coverages we're looking for in a defense. And out of cover 4, we can set up our own cover 6 or cover 9, really giving us every zone coverage in the game out of something like 6-1. So we'll just go ahead and call cover 4. Typically, I don't really mess with the shell too much unless we're playing a triple option team like we did our last 3 games of the online dynasty. I'll come out in a cover 3 shell and like cover 3 buzz. But if we're just sitting in cover 4, we can just keep that kind of default. we'll just put them in a random offense. It doesn't really make a huge difference. And again, this isn't so much going to be about actually, locking down the computer here in practice mode. Crazy things can happen in practice mode. We just want to see how this defense does, and I'm going to talk about the adjustments I like to do out of this defense. So the first thing is going to be on our defensive line. Hit left on the D-pad, bring up your defensive line adjustments. We're going to hit down on either the left stick or the D-pad. Either way is going to do it, and we are going to pinch these guys. Then we're going to do left on the D-pad again, down on the right stick to slant inside, right stick to the right to slant to the right, right stick to the left was right way too many times, or to the left to slant to the left. Typically, if they're in a formation like this, I will slant them to the right, because if this is a run, it is going to be going to the right side. Pretty much just slant them towards the area in the backfield where the halfback is not. Then we can throw some contains out here, hit R1 or right bumper on Xbox, then L1 or left bumper, set some QB contains out here too. Against a team like Virginia Tech, that's probably not the worst idea. So now if we do nothing, this will just keep match coverage. We'll just run cover 4 match, and it honestly should work pretty well. We'd have to kind of be responsible for 87 right away, potentially the halfback, anything coming from the left to the right. We'll just keep match this time and just see how it goes for us. Another thing you can do is bring your user down here and kind of hover over the middle. Just helps cause a little extra confusion for that offensive line. So we get like right here with Toure, and it should help with the run a little bit too, because then we can kind of loop around to that right, force him back to the left, and just absolutely nowhere to go. Absolutely just nowhere to go on that run, especially with these safeties being down on close and pinch. So again, we're going to do the same thing with the defensive line. This time we would slant them to the left because of where that halfback is. Throw some contains out here. We'll keep match again. We'll get over here with Toure and see. I should probably just put them in some passes, but just to see how it does. But this is also showing how good this freaking run defense is. So now they're in more of a spread set. We'd still probably do the same exact thing with our defensive line. Typically, I won't keep match, but with the speed and robber ability that we have on our outside linebackers here with Miami, I don't hate the idea of actually keeping it with this squad. The world is your oyster in a defense like this. So let's again try to keep match. Our main initial responsibility is really probably going to be the halfback on this, than kind of anybody crossing the field here. So we'll just keep this. Let's see if that defensive line, so anybody crossing the field, I don't know how the heck he got that throw in there. I don't know how the heck he got that throw in there. Let's see how that defensive line ended up doing here. Because the thing with the contains though, is they are not, oh, they kind of all got stuffed. Because with the contains, it does kind of take away the quick jump and everything like that. But against a more mobile quarterback, it's not the worst idea. We'll just kind of let the dogs eat here. We'll guess pass too, so that's R1 or RB, and then up on the right stick to guess pass. It definitely helps with your pass rush, but if they run, you could be in a lot of trouble. That one could backfire very, very quickly. So again, we will just keep our cover 4 match here. They all fly down. And we can either user that 3-rec hook, or we could even user a safety if we really wanted to. So we're gonna do the same thing with our defense here. Let's just go give it a shade underneath. So now these guys are not gonna match. They're just gonna go fly out to those hard flats. Probably the best to do against like RPOs, screens. Perfect. That was perfect timing there for them to try the screen, because we have Basanth over here in that hard flat. He's not matching, so he's not going upfield with number 0 like he typically would be if we stayed in that cover 4 match. He's just going out to the flat. He sees that screen coming and just zips right on down there. Having the speed on those outside linebackers, very, very important. So we'll do just one more play here, just because we'll shade them up top. Now they're curl flats instead of quarter flats and seam flats, I believe, are the 2 purple zones that are match. So anytime you see those on your field, it's a match coverage. Shade them up, turns them into curl flats. It will not be a match. Now they are going to drop back a little deeper. We don't have any zone drops on, and then there goes there goes that defensive line. We're not even mugging, we're not even doing anything. We kind of stayed back on that one, but eventually there's just only so much you can do against these boys, and that's not even. Now, that's just all standard, right? That's all just basic pass rush. Now, let's see how this works if we do throw a little stunt in here. So just hold down Y in this instance for cover 4. We have all of our different stunts to choose from. We'll just go with a Texas 4-man because that is a pretty dang good one. And again, we'll just throw them in something random and see how these stunts work for us. Now, typically, I'm not going to stunt too much against a more mobile quarterback, or somebody who likes to get out and run with their QB too much, because I think it makes it a little too easy to actually get out and move around with them. But in practice mode, we'll just see how it works. So they got a trips over to this right side. So we're watching an RPO. We're going to be shading underneath. I mean, we can just do that individually. So we can shade back up, put them back in cloud flats. Double tap right on the D-pad. It's going to bring up your linebacker adjustments individually. So then we can select Pruitt and just throw him in a hard flat over there, just in case it is an RPO. And against a trip set like this is probably the best time to actually use your opposite side inside quarter. There's really not a whole heck of a lot that number 3 can be on, unless it's like a deep post and he hits it perfectly in that window. There's not a ton for us to have to worry about. So now he's moving back over here. We can get back. Okay. Now they're just making me look like a fool. Little like return motion over there. But another thing we can do against and I actually want to see, we got to see the stunt actually go through on a regular pass play before we can really move on. The next thing we want to talk about, which is some other adjustments. But see, even against the run, the Texas 4-man does pretty well against inside runs specifically. Let's see if we can get them to just drop back into a pass and see if those stunts get stunt in here. Another motion. Don't just be a jet. Oh, it's a double fake jet. And just all over. And that was even shaded over the top, but there was nobody over there to distract number 22, so he was able to kind of stay with that. So we just shade over the top. We should still have our stunts in here, right? Oh, and to do these stunts like I just did, in case you forget to call them on the play screen, which I do all the time, left on the D-pad, RB or R1 brings up your stunt menu, then you just pick whichever one you want. Like I said, I think Texas 4-man's probably overall the best. So we'll just stick with this against the little spread formation. Please just pass the ball. Let's see, going back to that screen. So we didn't have the hard flats over there that time, but when we're using that guy, we can kind of just fly over and make a play on that. I should just put them, if they don't pass it this time, I'm just going to put them in a freaking regular pass. Because play action, oh, that's just right at me. That's just terrible user. Because play action actually does pretty good to stop some of the stunts. And I think setting empty blocking does pretty good against stunts too. So let's just go Texas 4-man. Let's put them in empty, or yeah, we'll just throw them in an empty set, whatever, and put them in like a verticals, something where we can actually see if this defensive line is going to do what we're hoping they will do here. So this is going to be that Texas 4-man stunt. We saw all the quick jumps lighten up, and there goes number 12 flying right outside the edge. Yeah, you saw the right side lit up like a Christmas tree here. I don't think it will on the actual replay. But we saw the platinum quick jump, we saw the gold quick jump, and eventually, I mean, it's just way too many abilities and way too good of a defensive line. You are not going to have time for anything downfield to develop against a defense like this. So next, we can talk a little bit about the different adjustments we can do out of cover 4. Say you're going up against somebody who runs a lot of bunch or trips to one side and likes to run a little bit of a flood concept. How can we defend that out of 6-1? Good news, we can. We're just going to have to set some zone drops. So those purple zones, they come out in quarter flats, but as long as they're purple, they're going to fall under the curl flat category. So you set those to 5. Our light blue zones, which we don't have any in a stock default cover 4, we are going to go ahead and set those to something like 20. And then we'll just come out in a regular cover 4 here. We will put them in a trips with a flood going over to that right side. Something like this deep flood. This should work out perfectly. So we're going against somebody. They are really attacking that right side. They're really trying to get those corner routes going over to the sideline. What can we do about it? Well, we set those flats to be 5 and 20. We are going to take our outside corner. We're going to double tap Y. That's going to bring up your individual secondary adjustments. We are going to select our outside corner B. We're going to throw him in a cloud flat. So now we can see he is actually backing up to a 20-yard cloud flat. And then our inside quarter, we actually want him to be in a deep half over here. We can back him up a little bit, get him in a little bit better of a spot. This maybe you get out of close and pinch for this, but the idea is still the same. So now if they're going to try this flood, that's the main thing we're going to have to watch here, is we're looking out for the flood. Our user responsibility right off the bat on this is going to be number 82, because we can see where all this green space is right over here. So right off the rip, make sure he can't just snap throw this one to 82 is the main thing we're looking for. Eventually, I think he is going to get that in on number 3 on the left. We're not going to pay attention to that. Our main focus right now is just going to be on that flood concept going over to the right. and seeing how well this is actually going to guard it. So this is called a Mabel defense. You can do it on both sides if you really want to. Do a double Mabel defense that leaves the middle pretty open, but if they're just consistently attacking the sidelines, this is just going to be a great way to take that away. So we'll have our flats at 5 and 20 and a deep half. We take away number 82, and then he goes for that over to the left side, which no big surprise, but because we had our safeties on close and pinch, they actually played that pretty dang well. So let's just look over on the right here. So remember, this is our purple zone. So he's just backing up 5 yards and staying right there. Can't throw that to number 0. He has a window here where he could potentially throw it to 82, but that's just because we ran away because I wanted to see we wanted to see more of how that play developed, so I wanted to take away that in on the other side. But him sitting at 20 is going to take that away. You could do like 15 if you wanted to get a little more aggressive with it, but I think 5 and 20 is a pretty good spread out here. And this is just something you have to get into practice mode and get quick on. This was my Madden like ultimate team defense in Madden 24 back when I actually played Ultimate Team. I loved 6-1 and just being able to quickly bing bang boom, there you go. Now we got a Mabel on that side. The other adjustment I do like to do is if they are taking that halfback and putting him out on routes or trying that number 3 like on a quick screen, trying to go not on a quick screen, a quick slant, something more over the middle, is we can drop a defensive lineman out of this, especially with a defensive line as good as Miami's. We still have 2 quick jumps. We still have an inside disruptor, even if we drop somebody like Ruben Bain back into coverage, which we will do here just to show as an example. So you double tap left on the D-pad, bring up your individual defensive line adjustments, select. I will pretty much always do the guy above the halfback. So in this case, it would be Ruben Bain. You can just throw him in a vert hook. You could throw him in a bluff blitz, which is like a 3-rec hook. Same thing Toure is on. That'll help more with like some Texas routes and things like that. If he's trying that with his halfback, we will just throw him in a vert hook for now, just as an example. But this is an unbelievable way to try to catch people off guard. If they see what you're coming out in, see it's just cover 4, thinking, hey, we can just throw a quick slant here to number 3, they are not going to be able to do that now that we're dropping Ruben Bain back into coverage. So we can go ahead and guess pass because we know what this play is. Again, we're just going to follow 82 here for a second, and we'll see Ruben Bain dropping back. We can switch stick up to Ruben Bain and try to go get that interception. And we even saw, was that pressure actually even getting in just as this 3-man rush? A little bit, because he tried to step up in the pocket and eventually our guy wins on that. But Ruben Bain dropping back into coverage, now we're taking that away. Now where are you going to go with this ball? So we're dropping Ruben Bain back. We're mabling that right side. It's only a 3-man rush, but these boys are going to get home when you got a defensive line as good as Miami's. We see again everybody lighting up like a Christmas tree. Ruben Bain dropping back into coverage, stones for hands, but just nowhere to go with the ball against this 6-1 defense of Miami before this pressure is eventually going to get in. We almost got an instant pressure here. Should have been a holding in my opinion, but with our 5-yard flat on the right there, we're taking 82, and then we can see here with us sticking on 82. And this is that 20-yard cloud flat. So he's backing up 20 yards. Then once he hits here, he's coming down to take 82. We have the deep half over there to guard number 2 going deep. We have Ruben Bain dropping back to the middle to help over the middle. We're still getting decent pressure by rushing 3. I love 6-1. I love this defense. And that's just all out of cover 4. That's all we've been talking about so far, is the different things we can do out of cover 4. Then you mix in some of your Sam Will blitz, some of your different man coverage things, cover 2 man, Mike Will blitz, cover 1 MLB blitz with the other zones. Like cover 3 buzz, I think is actually really, really good against the run. So we switch this to a cover 3 shell if you want to. You don't even really have to. It just helps that middle third get into a little bit better position. But we come out in a cover 3 buzz. If they're coming out in a little heavier set, something like a pistol wing, and we're worried about them running this ball out of something, we'll just give them a power O. Now we have actually got another hook we can bring right down to the middle of the field here that can help out with this run defense. So now we have, what is this, 8 in the box? If you want to come out in a power run set, you can certainly try. We're doing that same thing with our defensive line, pinching and then slanting them over to the right, just generally to the heavy side. You can just pinch them kind of down to pinch them inside as well. You can still throw some contains out here too to help with some outside runs. But now we've got Day down here to help out with the run. We've got pretty much everything covered. This is not a matching cover 3 by default, so you don't have to shade up or down if you don't want to. But they're coming out heavy pistol set. We just stay here with Toure. We just got too many guys and you don't have enough blockers. You're not going to be able to run the ball consistently against this defense. Now, why I like this cover 3 better than something like a Samuel blitz against a run defense is if we come out in Samuel blitz. Actually, hold on a second. I messed up. We want to get this to just be our default shell. Because if we come out in the Samuel blitz in just a default shell, and we'll keep them in that same run, just as an example, see how it lines up here. We, because of where these guys are manned up, are just much more susceptible to like the pass, and I just don't think it's quite as good. And if they can just get past this initial line of defense, we just really have nobody to help out. It's going to be tough to get through this initial line of defense with us sending 6, but if they can, I just feel like it's a little bit easier to give up a big play. But with the speed we have at will linebackers, they are going to be chasing these guys down from behind too. So Samuel blitz, I'm just not a big blitz guy, but I see the merit in it 100%. So between the cover 4, the cover 3 buzz, and then every once in a while you just mix in a little cover 2 to give them something different to look at. This 6-1, this Miami defense is just, it's unbelievable. That's before we even get into any other of the formations here in 4-3 multiple. You got some more standard ones. You know, you got nickel over. 3-3 cub is another one I like quite a bit, as long as you have a good defensive line that can generate some pressure. And of course, these are going to use your rush specialists, like your rush left end, right end, rush D tackles, and your sub linebackers, whereas 6-1 does not. So just something to keep in mind if you are messing around with your depth chart a little bit. 3-3 stack I like a lot. So you had some good just regular nickel sets in here too. I've never really messed with the mug stuff, like double mug, load mug, or single mug. I don't know. I just have never really messed with those, but I do like nickel over. I do like 3-3 cub. Cub is interesting because we do have some good send 5 with 5 right down on the line. You can drop one of the guys back, like in cover 3 buzz. You do have some cover 4. You do have a cover 2. Again, similar to 6-1 in a way, just with an extra slot corner out in that spot, but the same kind of covered shells, and we can do the same kind of stuff. Like if we come out in cover 4 in something like cub, we'll put them in, let's see, do they have like a corner strike or something out of here? No, of course they don't. Gosh dang it, Virginia Tech. But we can do a very similar thing out of any cover 4 that we did, like we did in 6-1. I just think the pass rush is going to be a little bit better out of it. But we can set it up the exact same way here. So now again, we're mabling that flood side. We can still drop somebody else back to help out. We're still rushing 4 here. We got the vert hook instead of a flat, or you could just keep him in a flat and drop back, you know, somebody else. He's going to kind of go in a weird spot there, so I don't really love that. It's all just about getting the reps and getting the motions down of how to do it, and I know the motions of 6-1, so that's kind of what we like to stay in. Get back to the middle and watch that. So out of any cover 4, as long as you have those zone drops set, you can set up that same Mabel type of defense. Now, what else we have in this playbook that I love, in case they are really, really going to some, you know, their backs are against the wall, you know they're coming out passing, we also have some dime 2-3 odd, where you can still generate some decent pressures out of something like an edge blitz or a zero blitz, even things like cover 4 quarters, cover 3 buzz match, Tampa 2 with that one linebacker coming in on kind of like a delayed blitz. Those can actually generate some good pressure and do okay against the run, better than you would think. Still not great, but not the worst. And you have DB Fire 2, which is a really good mix up in here as well, sending both the slot corners, and then it's a matching cover 2 behind that. Can really, really throw some people off. You got cover 4 drop, just drop everybody back into coverage, some cover 2 man, cover 6, cover 3 cloud. So a really good just mix of different things in this defensive playbook. We can go super heavy, sit in 6-1. You could sit in this for an entire game. We did during our campus tour with Miami. You can just run 6-1 and be totally fine. But if you do want to mix it up, you got some good nickel sets here with some nickel stack, cub, and over. You got some dime. I don't really mess with dime normal, but you got some good dime 2-3 odd. So it's really just the versatility of this playbook that I love so much, and then combine it with a depth chart like we have here with the Miami Hurricanes, and you have got a devilish defense. They really just drive people insane. So once we are done with the campus tour, we are definitely going to run quite a few games, I think, with Miami and just running the 6-1, so keep an eye out for that. I mean, campus tours probably got about 2 or 3 or so weeks left, or you can go back and watch the Miami campus tour we already did to see the 6-1 in action, or go watch our online dynasty. We've been running 6-1 for a little bit over there. The team's not as good as this Miami team is, but it also just shows how effective that 6-1 can be. So that'll do it for this one. Actually, no, it won't, because really quick, I do want to shout out this, we're going to flip sides here, because this Miami offense offense is actually really, really good too. We're just going to put them in whatever. Who cares? We're just trying to flip sides here. But this Miami offense is actually really, really good. So I want to shout them out in here as well. We're just going to watch the middle. Pressure eventually is going to get in there. But this Miami offense, this is going to be, whoa, number 55. Calm down, buddy. We're going to go over this very, very quickly. We have a few different doubles formations that are very good. I truly think Miami might be the best team in Road to the College Football Playoff. They're right up there. It's them or Ohio State, in my opinion, when you combine the depth chart with the playbook, because we have bunch strong offset. We've got those doubles. We've got some trips tight end offset weak, which is a super good formation. You got 3 really good versions of spread. You got trips offset, trips Y slot strong, trips halfback weak. You got some empty in here, especially now that we have been getting some more consistent depth chart updates. Again, wish the abilities were getting updated too, but at least the offense is looking much, much better. You got a couple pistol if you really want to get crazy, but between the trips, the spread, and the bunch, very, very good offensive playbook to combine with that 4-3 multiple defense. And I love this Miami team, but still, go Hoosiers. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.